Hi was friends, my name is Dick and today we are going to take a look at the latest offering from the Italian micro brand Viqueria with the Calipso GMT. Now, could this be a great and affordable alternative for the Seiko 5 Sports GMT? Let's take a look and let's find out. Manufacturing a watch that has a water resistance of 300 meters is an impressive feature. Sometimes we can take an important aspect of a watch like this for granted. At a time when dive watches were still really used as a tool by professional divers, a water resistance of about 100 meters was often the maximum in the 1950s and 60s. Sure, like most other things, the manufacturing processes, designs, reliability and the functionality of the watches of today have improved greatly over the years. But let's see what this actually means for the Calipso. This 300 meter diver's watch is built to be with you also on the water during your dives into the ocean at a tropical place where it is hopefully warmer than it is here today in the Netherlands. There are two tests that are done to make sure that the Calipso can withstand the pressure at these depths. At the first test, the watches will be put in a pressurized chamber, so microscopic holes in the gaskets can be detected through changes in pressure. The final test that the Calipso needs to withstand is the 30 atm real water pressure test. Here the watch is submerged and pressurized at 30 atm. Then the watch will be removed and heated so signs of moisture inside the watch case can be detected. I feel that the competition of the Calipso can be found in the form of the Seiko 5 GMT, but there are two strong points in favor of the Viqueria. This is a water resistance of 300 meters versus a water resistance for the Seiko of 100 meters. And then there's the price. Seiko is offering the 5 Sports GMT model for $475 US, whereas the Calipso's GMT model is priced at a very compelling $291. But with the Seiko you buy a great name on the dial with great history behind it. But I will say that for the money you will get a very capable diver watch with the Calipso, and of course it has a lot to offer. Before we are going to take a deeper dive into the watch, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. It is totally free, but it really helps me forward with improving the channel and my videos. So thank you, it really helps. Now let's check out this diver's GMT watch and start off with the dial. Here we can see a grainy black textured dial with applied and polished markers that are filled with two colors of luminescent material. During the daytime we can see a subtle green shade of color of the green C3 application on the indices at the cardinal points, but also on the dolphin hands and at the Lume pip that is on the bezel. The smaller indexes are filled with a BGW9 application, and this will light up in a blue color when it gets dark. These two colors make sure that the legibility and orientation at night is great, albeit a bit shorter than I would hope for. But let us take a look at the lume of the Calipso. The bicolored lume is great to see, but it would be awesome if it would glow very long and potent as well. A dive watch with a cool dial layout like this would deserve this in my opinion. And this is one of these points that I would like to see improved on this watch. Back to the watch, on my 6.7 inch wrist the design looks very balanced. Big legible shark teeth-like markers, elegant but sharp hands, and yes, no date. I like a date on my watches and even sometimes on my diving watches, but for the design of the Calipso it works better to create a more of a purist look here. The GMT hand on the dial gives away the color GMT complication on the Calipso diver watch. As most of you will know, there are two types of GMT watches. In summary, a flyer, traveler or true GMT allows one to independently set the local 12-hour hand. A color GMT allows one to independently set a GMT 24-hour hand. So if you travel a lot to different time zones, then a flyer or traveler's GMT would be more practical. But if you need this complication to make phone calls to people in different time zones, then a color GMT would be the more practical choice. Looking at the 316L stainless steel case, I can report that it wears true to its 42mm. Noticeable on the design of the case are some Seiko and Rolex design elements. And is that a bad thing? Well, yes and no. This watch case isn't going to win any originality prizes, but I wouldn't go that far as to call the Calipso a copy or even a homage. But what I would call this is a mashup of some elements that we love from other successful watch models. The form of the polished side of the case with the profile of the bezel reminds me of the Rolex Submariners of the 1980s and 1990s. It gives the watch a certain vintage and more elegant look with the polished and round case sides. The top of the case has some fine brushings, whereas the crown guards are polished. The lock-to-lock is on the longer side with 48.5mm and the lock width is 22mm. I also measured a thickness of 13.6mm including the sapphire crystal. Because I personally get some 1980s and 90s divers watch vibes with this watch, I believe it would suit the design better if the lock width would be 20mm to give it a more elegant look when viewed from the top angle. I feel that it would have matched better with the elegant side profile of the watch case. But at the end of the day, it is always a matter of personal taste. Covering the dial we have a domed sapphire crystal with 3 layers of inner AR coating. Despite the 3 layers, this application has some room for improvement, because there are still some reflections visible when checking the time outside. Flipping the watch over to the underside of the Calipso, we can find the world time etched into the screw down case back, which is of course a practical touch on a GMT watch. And around the crystal we have a unidirectional 316L stainless steel bezel with an aluminum inlay with a black and silver colored split design. Here we can find the 24 1-hour increments. The bezel action is on par with the price of this watch because it operates well, but there is some backplay that can be noticed here. But I happily can report that it aligns well at the 12 o'clock position. The stainless steel bracelet has a nice design with a rounder and softer appearance that suits the overall design of the watch well. It is a 3-link construction with polished center links and brushed outer links. The bracelet tapers ever so slightly from a 22mm back to a 20mm at the clasp. The female end links that drop straight down from the case is helpful with the wearability and to compensate for the longer lock-to-lock size. To size the bracelet we have a friction pin system, which is okay for the price point of the watch. Looking at the fold over clasp, it looks like a clasp from the Seiko catalog, but when opening the clasp we can see a step up in comparison with the clasp from Seiko at this price bracket. This because we have a milled folding clasp here instead of a pressed clasp. It also has 3 micro adjustment holes and a twin button release system. We can operate the movement with the 7mm screw down crown that is polished and signed with the logo from Viqueria. When operating the crown it has a familiar feel, and this is because we are operating a workhorse from Seiko. The movement in the Calipso is the Seiko NH34 and this movement sports 24 jewels for durability and operates at a 21,600 Hz beat rate. The power reserve is a 41 hours and the accuracy is rated at +40 to -20 seconds per day. There are 2 other colors to choose from next to this black dialed version. There is the saffron yellow, which is my personal favorite, because for me it has a bit more Italian flair and a summer look and feel to it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had called this color Giallo Modena. And lastly there is the Tuscan green. All these colors are now available for a special pre-order price of $290 US or 269 euros. So if you like the design of this watch, I would recommend to check them out on the website of Viqueria. This watch will come in a practical canvas roll with 5 slots, which completes the overall package. And while I am unpacking the watch here, I wanted to use the opportunity to wish you all a happy Easter weekend. Now there are a lot, and I mean a lot of offerings within the price range of between a 300 and 500 US dollars. This is an increasingly competitive market to be in, and therefore it makes it all the more impressive to be successful within this area of the watch market. So yeah, kudos to Viqueria. Now if you like the overall look of the Calipso GMT and you are in the market for a 300 meters dive watch with some Italian flair to it, then this could be your pick of the bunch. And if you have liked this video, then please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I have some more great watch reviews in the works, and this is the best way to get a notification when I release a new video. It is of course totally free, and it helps my channel forward with the mysterious algorithms of YouTube. So thank you. If you want to see one of my other reviews, for example with one of the most legendary Seiko watches, then click somewhere over here. And if you want to see a review of a very cool micro brand, then check out the review of the fantastic Direnzo DRZ02 somewhere over here. Once again, my name is Dick, thank you for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Goed weekend!